Friday Night Racing
on Off the Ball.
Brought to you by Horse Racing Ireland. Love every racing moment. Visit hri.ie.
Well, hi there and welcome along to Friday Night Racing on Off the Ball, brought to you by Horse Racing Ireland. Love every racing moment. And of course, you can check out their new Twitter account at HRI Racing and a great hashtag as well, hashtag every racing moment. Right, I'm Thom Malone this week, joined by trainer Paudie Roche. How are you?
Thanks for having me, lads.
Good stuff. And Johnny Ward, as always.
What's the crack?
Are you well?
Not too bad. You'll have noticed you feature in my new Twitter background.
Yeah?
You, me and the horse and Willie Mullinses.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, Will
We have a clip from that, I think, later, do we?
I think we have clips. Yeah, we're going to have a bit of a little video from Willie Mullins' yard and also from Gordon Elliott's yard as well. So I look forward to what they have to say. But you guys have kind of been on the Cheltenham preview circuit a bit in the last week or so, have you?
I was at one last night at McDonald's bar in Newbridge. It was a good panel there, so it was a good bit of fun, yeah.
Lots of information gleaned.
Well, Mark Walsh was on the panel, so I don't think so.
Wasn't too many words though, him and it was a good night.
Fran Berry was, they couldn't get Frank Berry, so they got Fran Berry instead.
It's not exactly the same. No. We love Fran, but
they're in full swing now anyway. They seem it's only Tuesday week now, so if it goes ahead.
Yeah,
thanks be to God. Tipping away.
But you only kind of took out the licence yourself in 2018, but it's going well.
Just 2 years there in January, yeah. So horse in great form, couldn't be happier.
Free Hurdle was the first win he had, wasn't it?
Out of the loop there last February, yeah. That was a great day, so one you never forget. And we seemed to have a bit of luck around Fairhouse. So
yeah, I was actually looking it up. You have something like so, yeah.
I wish it was on every week.
Yeah, exactly. A couple of places as well. But you've had a good winner there the weekend as well. He's brought up a nice sequence. What's his name? Castle Oliver.
Castle Oliver, yeah. He's done well. Kind of unassuming horse. He wouldn't show you a lot at home, but he seems to save for the track. And he seems to be improving, so long may it continue.
Yeah, they must be the horses you want as well, you know, because he's just not exerting himself until he needs to.
Yeah, he surprised me the first day and the second day, and I think his best performance was probably the last day. So.
You were, in fairness to Paudie though, the way you've trained him was fairly clever. That you dropped him back to 2 miles in Down Royal, so he wasn't going to get hammered by the handicapper if he won over 2.5, and then he had enough in hand to win again and progress on Sunday.
Yeah, he seems to be going the right way, so couldn't be happy with him.
Well, the handicapper has, what is it, gone 30 odd pounds, is he given him?
30 now, I think, yeah. So
Leinster National next?
Yeah, I think he needs a few to come out, so if he got in, he'd have a nice weight in his back, so.
New trip?
3 mile, he looks, last day seemed he wants it anyway, so.
He hit the line hard enough in Nason.
Yeah, so hopefully.
And what about yourself? I mean, what's the sort of setup like? Obviously you took over from your dad, is it? Have you completely changed things, or he's still around?
No, I wouldn't say completely changed things, but I like to do my own thing anyway. But things are going well, couldn't be happier.
And what about sort of numbers-wise, what are you at?
Yeah, we have a good number at the moment, we're busy, so look, you're always looking for more, and the more you have, the better chance of getting a good horse. Yeah,
so it's great to have good patronage as well. Obviously JP sends you a couple.
Great, yeah, so when Dad retired, like in fairness, the good owners that he had were nice enough to leave the horses with me, so that was a big thing, you know.
Yeah.
It was a great start, and sure, that's all anyone can ask for, so.
And is your dad still hanging around? Is he just
he does his own thing. He buys and sells there with Alan Crowe. They've good few for the sales, and he's mayors and foals, so he's busy with it.
I suppose that's the thing when you're a smaller trainer, like you have to keep busy and keep other things on the go as well. It's a tough enough game.
You'd have to be busy. You wouldn't keep him quiet on this, so he's grand. He does that in the winter and plays plenty of golf in the summer.
Plenty of golf in the summer.
Change much in the way gallops around like that, or was it a similar system? What's your setup there?
Not really, no. When you get them fit, is trying to keep them sound and healthy. To me, that's the main thing, you know. And their ability is their ability. I don't think you can improve that too much.
Yeah.
So if you can get them fit and keep them sound and keep them healthy is the main thing.
How do you keep, like, in terms of allaying viruses and stuff like that? Is it fresh air? Is it like?
Yeah, well, I love the summer. To me, is the easiest time to train. We're lucky enough to have paddocks, and like you love horses to be out in the fresh air all the time. And the summer's great. You can leave them out, and you go back and throw the rugs on them in the evening, and they stay out, and there's no rain. So the winter's harder than the summer, but that's all you can do.
It's nature, really, isn't it? Like nature more or less is the answer.
They love being out, yeah. So the summer is the easy thing. It's the winter is trying to keep them warm and don't be Getting the viruses, that's the hard job.
Do you you say you sort of target the summer because that's more the bracket of horse you have? Like the summer jumping circuit is great in many respects. That you're not dealing as much with Willie, Mullins and Gordon and Joseph, even though they still have horses around. Like,
Well, that's my kind of the horse I have at the moment. Is that's their ability. So look, you try and go where they can win. If it's winter or summer, wherever they can win, that's the main aim.
But I mean, when you're, like I say, you're that summer training, is that like a philosophy? You think, well, do you get them out? How do you do that in winter then? How can you try and combat, keeping them healthy and just trying to do the best for them?
Well, also, you need good straw and good bedding, and you try and get them, like even in the winter, like obviously not in the rain, but you try and still get the ones that they need the air out. It's great. Just get them out, I think so. That's my philosophy.
There's a few trainers going to do that. Like, I suppose it kind of depends on the facilities you have as well.
That's it. Yeah, we're lucky enough to have paddocks. We can let them out, so it's good,
Yeah, and I mean, a friend of ours, obviously Damien English, we'd know as well, Johnny, and he would have that philosophy as well. He'd keep them out as much as possible, wouldn't he?
But it's nature, though, isn't it? I mean, like I suppose if you're keeping them indoors and in their stables, they're more likely to pick up bugs and that. And nature has the remedy for a lot of things, I think. Like, but if you have, where have you learned your sort of training philosophy along the way? Because you're quite young.
Sure, like.
Obviously, your dad.
Yeah, but I was lucky because when Dad started, Paddy Burke, Lord of Mercy, was there, and Eddie Doyle. Them two were. When I come home from school, I'd be out in the yard, but. I was messing around with the lads, but I'd go off with them and legs, and they were just like they were nearly vets. They were there for years and years and years, and just hanging around with them, and
what do you just
great education.
That was it. What you just learned from them, just from being around them.
Yeah, well, like I come back at school, was finished at 3:30. I didn't go too much, but 3:30 or something, and I'd be straight into the yard, and I don't know if it was Dad's way of thinking, but Paddy was there at first. And you go with him, and he'd be teaching you about the legs and the different jaw.
Yeah, and was he was a big trainer? Was that in the day, or was it?
Yeah, he had the license before Dad, so he trained a few good horses. And Eddie Doyle was there. Paddy retired and unfortunately passed away, but Eddie was there, and them men know as much of vets. They've been around a long time, and that was a great education. It was.
And is that the yard you're working out of now?
Yeah, they work for Dad. So. When Paddy was kind of training, and then Dad took over. When Dad could get the licence, Paddy was his right-hand man.
Do you remember much about your father's riding days?
I do, plenty. I used to go, when I wasn't in school, I'd be racing every day, running around the wear room, like the likes of Willie Carson and Pat Hedry and all them were there. So I used to go racing with Dad every day, every day, yeah.
Well, I remember Jim Bulger saying that he was very chilled out about like his career, in that he wouldn't be mad driven by winning jockeys titles or anything like that. It was say he wanted to be on good horses, kind of.
Oh, I don't know. He was driven.
Was he?
He was driven.
Or maybe it was that he was more laid back in his way he spoke to people, or Jim
was being nice. So I remember being in Jim's place, and there were a few heated arguments.
Yeah.
Mrs. Bulger used to bring me down to get me a bar of chocolate.
Yeah,
get me out of the way. Yeah.
Do you remember being in Bulger's then?
I do, I do. I was down there, and then he went to Ballydale, and remember I used to go to Ballydale when he was riding work in the mornings, just to be sitting in the Jeep with Aidan and that. So,
jeez, you didn't have the most conventional upbringing, so like Willie Carson was knocking around.
Yeah, they were all good, So
but I mean, do you remember your dad riding those really good horses of Aidan O'Brien's winning classics? King
I remember St. Jovite. I remember being St. Jovite at the 91, was it? I remember being there that day, but I mean,
you must have been, what age were you?
6, I'd
say,
okay, yeah. But like Desert King and that, I was there. I remember all them. Yeah.
There's, some class of horse. They
were good horses. Team and King of Kings and that, they were good horses.
And did you ride other places as well? Like when you were kind of growing up, did you go and ride work?
Well, I done 2 summers in Ballydale. Aidan was very good to me. Yeah, that was good experience.
And you some education, that and the amount of people that go through the yard. If you go there some mornings, you just see the amount of ex-jockeys that are even there now, and I'd say it's just his attention to detail and that.
She's just a genius. What can you say that hasn't been said?
What can you say? It's kind of like, what can you even describe what's different about him? Because obviously there is a bit of genius there.
Yeah, I don't know. We won't see another one of him. And I mean, he's just unbelievable.
Maybe
Did
we
you
will in
take
Joseph
any-
and Dunick.
Yeah, well, he's got champion sire now as well, hasn't he? But like, do you maybe pick up little tips and hints about things you might like look to do yourself when you're training,
No, I
just
was-
observing down there?
Oh, look, I haven't got the horse that Aidan has, but look, you just individually, I think.
Yeah.
If I was doing that, and he individually, so he's treat them as individuals, and sure.
Maybe what you mean by that is that he doesn't like to sort of batch train them. He's very sort of detailed in every single
Aidan
one.
has lots of numbers, you know, so we can't do that, you know. When you've only a certain amount of numbers, Aidan's is a number game, like all the big trainers. So
Yeah.
you can't really go down that road.
And I suppose that is one of the things I guess if you're talking to a potential owner, you would say, well, look, I only have the handful of horses. I'll have my hand on every single one of their legs every single day of the week, and we'll.
That's what we have to do.
Yeah.
So hopefully someday we can get to them numbers. But
What are your
at the
numbers
moment, we're happy with the numbers we have at the moment. So it's good.
Like,
So I was looking for more.
yeah, flat and national hunt.
Yeah, bit of mixture to it. Yeah, sure. Couple that are dual purpose as well. There, you like them as well. So happy at the moment.
And like, would you have ambitions to like, you know, you hear like people like Richard Fahey, they've 300 odd horses. You know, would you like to have a big, enormous yard like that, having those kind of numbers? Or
I think you have to be ambitious. I don't think if you're ambitious, you're in the wrong game. Look, sure, you love getting new horses and new owners, and that's the thing.
and I
The
mean,
more horses you have, the better chance of getting a good one.
well, that is very true as well. Yeah.
You source your horses generally.
Well, I'm lucky enough that JP and the owners are syndicates there, and ones that Dad mightn't sell, we might sell them on to the syndicates and that, and then we go to the horse and training sales, maybe, you know. So he hasn't an easy job, but he's very.
I don't know how
he's
to
very
keep
good
on
to
top
me.
of
And
things,
How on earth?
first where
Yeah.
like Derek is obviously going to ride him, but he'd say no, Pádraig is riding them. So he's like, I rode a few winners there that my ability shouldn't have.
It's kind of now, like, obviously you're an amateur.
Isn't that good now?
I think you're underplaying it. You weren't that bad now, in fairness.
Oh, I wasn't that good either. Did you ever see me jumping the fence?
Was it a technique or a bottle or what was the?
It wasn't great, and I know I loved it. Like
Yeah.
the bumpers and that, but them lads, them professional jump jockeys are just a different breed.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a different breed.
Who was your favourite?
I suppose Richard and Willie when I was younger, yeah. But it was, the top three like were always Ruby, Barry, and Paul. Like they were always the. I used to love Paul. He was stylish. And yeah. He was-
It's still, as much as he's gone a while now, there's nearly every week or two you think, geez, you'd miss Paul Carby just riding horses, doing something ridiculous in a race and making it look so easy.
Yeah,
I honestly think it was one of the reasons I got into racing was when maybe around, like, I'm not into racing since maybe 2003 or that, but watching Irish racing and seeing Paul Carby like computer racing, just going through a field in a maiden hurdle in Ballinrobe or something like that, and just thinking, like, how does he make this look so nuanced? And
There's a Twitter handle or new enough Twitter accounts called Racing Tales, and they pop up older ones. I think the Paul Carby and the 4 miler, I think it's about 97 or something. Yeah, the name is one coming to my head right now.
Kim Muir,
I'm just thinking, it was absolute masterclass. One horse went about 25 lengths in front, and Carby just sort of picking them off like you say, like a computer game.
We are in the midst, we are going to miss a golden generation. I think between him and Ruby are gone. Obviously, Geraghty and Davy are getting on a bit, and that is a hell of a generation. Like, 4 of the best jockeys Ireland I think has ever seen will be retired in the next few years, and there's that gap for them to fill, because I think it was a golden generation, definitely.
There's plenty of them there. Do you know what I mean?
I think Mark Walsh's time has come now to become the best. Like, I think he's the best, but it's to get like that sort of standard of horse, and to be riding Delta Work is, I think, testament to
I
his
think he
ability.
deserves it.
Absolutely, more than deserved it. Like,
Yeah, he's for a long time. Mark has been as good. Maybe people haven't picked up on it, but like Mark and me started out together, and he'd done a year in Ballydial with me. Actually, Dad sent the two of us down, and like Dad and Frank knew from an early on. He was different. You know what I mean? We were 15 or 16. And I could ride, but I couldn't ride as well as him. Like he was different.
And is that kind of talent obvious immediately?
That's just natural, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's just natural.
see, that's 15 years ago though for him. I think it's strange in that
20.
well, Mark is early 30s, I think. Is he?
Same age as me, 34. Yeah.
34.
Two were the same age, yeah.
Like, I think Mark should have achieved more at his age than 34. He said, what, 1 Cheltenham winner is it?
No, he's not. He won champion hurdle.
Champion hurdle.
Won one for Willie. He rode 3, did he?
2 or 3.
I think
He won the Coral
three.
Cup and for Willie.
Yeah, he won the Coral Cup on was it Whiskey Sour or
Yeah.
I think he might only have two. I think
Blueberry,
he
was
might
it?
only have two Cheltenham winners.
Blue Sari.
Blue Sour? Yeah.
Like for a jockey of his ability, I think he should have had more big days. And I'm not saying that's because I don't know why that is, but I think now.
Well, there's obviously like Barry
He
would
was second
would go
for JP, I
kick off a
suppose.
lot
He
of
was
the
a bit
bigger
unfortunate.
ones.
And I think Marks is almost enemy in a way because he doesn't promote himself. That's not his way. He's just too self-effacing, kind of. Do you know? Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm biased and I disagree with you.
Why so?
He's very good. He's brilliant.
I think he's top class. I think he should have. I think he should have more big race winners because I think he's the best
big
around.
race winners are hard to come by.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's not just whatever race in Cheltenham every year, 20 or something you can win. You know?
Yeah, there's only a
A lot of
handful.
lads haven't been the Cheltenham winner, you know what I mean? So.
You know, and when Ruby was there and he's taken up 60 odd of them over the last sort of 15 years, you know, it's like there's not many
there's only-
pickings left for other people.
There's not many people had the rise Ruby had, do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I can't look beyond Mark, and I think he's
the best. I just think he should have. I think he should have had more big race rides. Effectively, I don't think he's had enough of them to befit his ability. That's probably because.
But he
Barry,
will hopefully this year, like
yeah,
hopefully, yeah.
This
Yeah, next 2 years.
this is probably his time to really thrive, like the next couple, and stay injury free. Hopefully,
Because that's the thing for a jump jockey, isn't it? It's like
yeah.
you just need that run.
Should look at poor old Jack. Like, doing.
Yeah,
broken legs.
Grade
at 20.
one, half an hour later, he's like, he's tough. Like, hopefully he's getting on the mend. Like, but that's why I didn't want to be professional jump jockey.
Yeah, well, in fairness, he's 20 years of age and he's had 4 leg breaks effectively. And Busty was saying the last year, Busty Ammon, that like he wasn't even really making any deal of it when he was down on the ground. He wasn't even moaning really. And it's almost like you get used to breaking your leg because he actually he thought it might be a sort of a dead leg first. And then they crunched his leg and then he said, oh, but he still wasn't sure his leg was broken. And
It's just ludicrous.
but you
isn't
get to
it?
the stage where Jack Kennedy breaking his leg isn't a story anymore. Do you know what I mean? And I did a story on it last week. There was no real reaction to it, right? And you don't.
Good fella, he is a good fella, but yeah, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But he has had lots of Grade 1 success already, so you'd imagine. Look, we're associated with
He's in the
Gordon.
right place.
He is in the right place. Yeah. I mean, it is an interesting time, isn't it, though, for jockeys in Ireland, because you do, like I say, you look down the line, and now we are at a place where the next generation kind of have to inherit that mantle. You got Paul Townend, Mark Walsh, and then you look at who's going to sort of take up the mantle in the UK with Dickie Johnson is surely.
Well,
Can't
but
hang around that much
Ireland's
longer.
strange at the moment because David Mullins has kind of had a couple of very quiet years and now has gotten a shocking injury. Jack Kennedy is injured. Brian Cooper has like completely failed in terms of his career from where he was started at, and he'll admit that himself. He's trying to revive his career.
Yeah.
So we've this kind of almost like hole for someone to come through now. I don't know who you rate as like there are some good conditionals as well.
Yeah, there's plenty around. Yeah.
Who do you rate coming through?
I suppose Kevin Bruder rides well, and for a start, there's Darragh O'Keefe.
Derek, you've had an unbelievable.
Yeah, he's
start
a
to the
very, very good
I
rider.
think he could be very good.
Yeah, he's very good.
Tony
And
Mac-
when you're trying to get going yourself, it's hard to.
I know to give
Oh,
somebody
you
else.
need, every winner's important, but he rode his first winner there in Thurles on Open to the World, which is an easy ride, and he gave her a great ride. But hopefully now this summer we'll have a few more runners, and we'll be able to get him going. But he's very, very capable. Yeah, he's one to look out for if you can just.
Yeah.
I suppose that's tricky for you as a trainer as well. I mean, as you say, you're just starting out, so like you need like if you like how can you go and say, well, I'm not booking Mark Walsh, I'm going to give you £7 claimer a ride, like you.
It's
a difficult
that's what I'm
decision.
saying. When you're trying to get going yourself, look, every winner's important, every runner's important, and you're trying to please everyone. But I know he's an exceptionally good worker, and he's a real nice fella. And I think this summer, if we claim off a few and we get him going that way, he'll be noticed then, you know.
Yeah.
He just needs a few more bit of can't be the experience.
You're going to have some summer by the sounds of it. Summer this,
Really?
summer that, yeah.
Well, what summer's like?
You just want a summer.
I love the Sligos and Bannerolls.
Kilbacon, you know.
Or Salmon on a
Those riding
Tuesday.
4 hours together. Yeah, so.
The summer's on the way, yeah.
Yeah, you got a diesel card. Obviously, you're just like, yeah, we're mad to travel.
Plenty of it. yeah. So.
But that's the thing as well. I mean, during the summer, even for a smaller yard, you can be busy. Like, I mean, there's racing almost every day of the week. Whereas during the winter, if you're a smaller yard, like, you know, it's tough enough going. Apart from getting a beating, like from Willie Mullins and Gordon Elliott 3 days a week, then that you're just sort of sitting there from Monday to Wednesday and there's nothing on. Like,
Yeah, well, I'm lucky enough now. busy enough winter. So that's yeah. So
the lads probably can hear the Ballinrobe put up an image today of the track, an aerial view of the track, and it's absolutely stunning if the lads can get it. It's from the Ballinrobe Twitter racing account.
Is it a lake?
It's basically just water around, but it obviously wasn't taken today or yesterday because you can see the track, whatever the rain that they've had in the west. But it now that we're getting into March, it does kind of remind you, like, summer racing in Ireland is fantastic. I mean, it's very hard for Paudie Roche to compete at this time of year. He doesn't have the horses, and the races, like, there's no racing Monday to Thursday a lot of the time. There's no racing Friday. It's hard, and then the summer you get those tracks, and as many people watch that racing as they do racing this time of year, and you get even bigger crowds as well. It's summer jumps racing is fantastic.
That is actually interesting. Particularly you go the far side of the Shannon. The crowds you get on a Monday and Tuesday evening in the Sligos and Ballinrobes and Roscommons, like...
Ballinrobe on Monday evening, like, it'll definitely, like, and Kilbeggan's over Friday.
Yeah, Kilbeggan over Friday.
It's great to have them.
They make it social occasions that people maybe would go racing once a year and meet people that they wouldn't normally meet, but them tracks work hard as well. Like, I'd always try to promote the smaller tracks that have to work that bit harder and do invest in facilities, because I suppose they need to invest.
I think the
I just think
look
it's
at
stunning.
That. Beautiful.
I mean, and you know,
they've done a great job now. The stable yard and the lads' canteen, and they're up there. The wear room and Ballinrobe are great.
Yeah, and funny, that's it.
Do you know what's so insane about that, Paudie, as well, is the look at the bend, like the last bend. How much of like that is, like, if that were in a Formula One, it'd probably...
I'd always be wide there.
Like, you're forfeiting a small bit of ground, but if you go up the other, but it's like, it's no coincidence that horses win in Ballinrobe and then they win there again, because you imagine a horse is trying to negotiate that bend, find big horses in a, and that's like that's one of the most beautiful photos I've ever seen of an Irish racetrack. And you get to wonder if they did drone footage for the likes of Killarney or Sligo, tracks like that, those coastal tracks. It must be like HRI, I think, could definitely have a bit of a promotional trick there and to promote our tracks, because Killarney's like practically one of the most scenic tracks in the world, really.
Yeah, and again, another spot, like you say, during the summer, you get a good lively crowd.
Oh, he does like his nights out as well. Like Killarney's the place.
The horse box, I can't stay down in
You're not going to drive yet. No, you're going to sort that. It's been I just enjoy that summer racing. It's such a.
That's when you get work as well.
Get a bit of work, yeah. Love the car.
It's nearly back now. Only talking a month. Like Aidan's 2-year-olds now will be coming along, and listed race in Dundalk tonight.
Building up to the countdown to Kentucky Derby qualifiers.
Yeah. As much as I love Cheltenham, I do like the fact that it reminds you that the Curragh is only literally a week or two away, and that first 2-year-old maiden season, it's just this thing of the year is starting, everything is afresh, and you've all these new stallions and like new trainers, and everything is starting from zero again, and it's exciting.
I suppose when you were growing up, like, obviously your dad was a flat jockey. Did it make more of a difference, that kind of spring in your step, or you always were jumps focused?
It was obviously all flat racing until probably Dad started training, and then it was jumps, but I just prefer the jumps, to be honest.
Why so? It's too mad for the flat.
No, I just the longevity of it, I think, I don't know,
longevity of the horse's career.
Yeah, I don't, they're around longer, and I just prefer jumping.
Well, Undisol retiring today, you couldn't have a horse comparable on the flat, really. It just doesn't happen. Do you know what I mean?
No,
horse
you
with that
couldn't.
ability.
No, you couldn't. Actually, we have a little chat with Willie Mullins. We bring that in. Here, what do you say? He actually mentions.
Well, you are presenting, Tom. I've been basically thrown aside now. I've kind of been purged, shafted, cast aside. Soon I'll be on the scrappy. So it's your call.
I don't know. Let JP make the call on that. We caught up with Willie Mullins during the week, just after he looked ahead to a few of his bigger runners at the Cheltenham Festival. Joined now by champion trainer Willie Mullins as we look ahead to Cheltenham. And Willie, you centred this morning, he only brought out 30 horses, and we stood here for over an hour chatting about this. That kind of gives an idea of the sort of scale of the operation you'll have in the next couple of weeks.
Yes, it was a really wet morning, so I didn't feel like bringing out any more and going to the gallops as we normally do. We curtailed it to an indoor sport this morning.
when you're looking forward to it now. I mean, we're just starting the Tuesday. It looks an open champion hurdle. What you've got, like, so Sharjah going for it. Silas Emery's been supplemented as well. How are they?
Silas Emery, I thought he impressed me in the Red Nails hurdle. It's a change of plan. He was going for the champion chase. It looks a very hot race, if not the race of the festival. And we decided to let him run in the Red Nails hurdle. If he won that, it would be enough to supplement him for the champion hurdle. And he goes there with a big chance. He will go on any ground, whereas Sharjah probably prefers better ground. Nowadays, in Cheltenham, they always have soft in the description of the going on the first day. That's a little bit against Sharjah. We'd probably prefer if it was run the last day. But yeah, well, there you are. So it's going to suit Silas Emery in what looks an open champion hurdle. Sharjah has to also overcome his bad jumping and a poor run the last day. But you can forgive a horse, one bad run.
Absolutely. On to the big race on Wednesday. Some say the big race of the week, the champion chase. You've never won it, but Shaq Persois, very impressive. Left center.
Yes, he's definitely going to be, I think, our best hope in that. Jacques Persois is a horse that's always shown me huge ability. He's only run 4 times over fences and won them. Won 3. And I'm not sure statistically well, but you've got Altier there, Defi de Sol.
And will Anderson line up as well?
I'd ride him.
And that'll be bring the house down.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, but it's going to be tough for Anderson. I think Jacques Persois probably runs money anyhow.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. On form last time out, and you've got
different approach training. Penhill. I decided early in the season rather than mess around. He's done well in Navan the other day. I think he's still best races in Cheltenham, so we're keeping our fingers crossed that what he said is right.
Yeah.
And he has a big chance. The track, he loves the distance. We've also got Bacardi try and go over fences this year, Patrick, but I ran him back in Leopardstown somewhere that he just ran too poorly, but I think I was running him too often.
3 quick runs in a row.
Yeah, three. The third. Yeah, it wasn't. It was my fault, but he likes Cheltenham as well. He made a bad mistake, I think, at the last in this race a few years ago, and was going to be placed. So if he's improved.
Looking to retain the Gold Cup, album photo.
Boy, it's very difficult for recent Gold Cup winners to get back to winning ways. Never mind come back and win the Gold Cup. He came back and won in Tremor, albeit only a good. He's improving at home all the time. He loves the fences, but he doesn't remember it. But if he gets over the first and second and gets into a rhythm, he has every chance of getting into the first 4.
Good stuff. They're the thoughts of Willie Mullins when we caught up with him. Of course, Friday Night Racing here, brought to you by Horse Racing Ireland. But it's quite the army he brings as well. But like Anderson, as you mentioned, just on the top of that, you're going to mention that because it was a couple of weeks ago. But he's obviously been retired with that suspensory ligament injury. But what a horse!
I remember being at the Race and Post Christmas party in the Guinness Storehouse, Paudie, right up your tree. No. Place where it's actually probably one of the worst pints of Guinness you'll get in the country. Genuinely, the Guinness in the Guinness Storehouse is not great at all. Although it's nice, it's not as nice as you get elsewhere.
Yeah, okay.
But I laid under so to win the Arkle because I said he's too brave. He'd fallen in a beginner's chase.
Yeah.
I don't know if has he ever fallen since? Maybe once.
Did he fall at Sandown? He came down. Was it at Sandown? He kind of overjumped one of the big ones and decanted Ruby when he was clear, about 2 out.
But the bravery of that horse and the way he races and the way that he became a bit more chilled out as he got older. But what a horse!
Yeah, I mean, I suppose even as a jockey, is that the kind of one you would have said he's like him, or you'd like, no, I'm not brave enough at all.
Not for me.
Yeah. If he didn't want to ride over fences.
No, I presume so. Yeah, he was a fair one.
He's the kind of, but like you're saying, the jumps is your thing. He's exactly the kind of horse that keeps people interested in jumps racing, isn't he?
And he's around a long time, and he was at the top of his game for a long time. That's
probably a little underrated. Like, you had bumped, he kept the likes of Altior and Sprinter Sacre honest at times as well. Like
on heavy ground over 2 miles, he was very, very, very hard to beat. And just attitude, just his will to, and the fact that Willie probably trained him so well that he learn to race a bit more amenably, because he was very much a tearaway. I remember the day he fell that race in Ferryhouse, his beginner's chase. I remember that was the day I was telling him at Ferryhouse in the press room, you need to change the TV screens here, because Undesaw was one side of the picture, he was out of the picture to the right, and the rest of the field were out of the picture to the left. So what you had was just a field. It wasn't a widescreen TV, so you had an old TV of just green going around like this. Undesaw was there, and the rest of them were there. And after that, he chilled out after a while.
Yeah.
And they changed the TV as well.
And they, well,
fair play to Peter Rowe.
Yeah, well, you better give
well,
him
it's
a
all
shout
about
out.
Ferryhouse today, for Paudie's favourite track.
Paudie's favourite track, yeah, absolutely. Of course, 150th Irish Grand National this year. As well, we do have a bet. Johnny, you're going to give us a bet for the, of course, the Toad Irish Unit Jockeys charity fund remains at €630 following the abandonment of Newcastle last weekend. The action this week, of course, we got Navan and Leopardstown, and of course the world's richest horse race as well, the Saudi Cup, where there is a bit of Irish interest, although it's a phenomenal lineup. We've got the likes of Tacitus and Maximum Security on the dirt, who are absolute monsters of the US racing world. Toad customers, of course, can enjoy free race course tickets to selected meetings throughout the year, so make sure you check out thetote.com for more details. Wouldn't mind sending one to the Saudi Cup for that kind of prize money, Paudie, would you?
I wouldn't mind having one good enough. Right.
The big race is $20 million, I think,
Yeah.
which I can't really comment on that. I think it's a bit mad, but it would be an interesting trip. I know a few of the Irish journalists are out there. I think Tom Ryan from Nace is involved.
Yeah, he's involved in the Saudi racing.
Apparently
club,
the
so-
track is unbelievable. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, probably best move on, given your history on the subject. But what about, would you have a winner for us this weekend?
Well, I've no issues with Leopardstown or the Irish regime or anything like that.
Okay.
But Paudie might know a bit about this horse. Well, I know you're friendly with Ross Sullivan, and we were talking about it before the show, and it is its handicap debut, and I don't like backing horses on their handicap debuts because I think they need experience. But Favori Logique, a Denham Red horse.
That is on Sunday in Leopardstown.
Sunday in Leopardstown at 3:35. This horse was fifth behind. I'll actually read them out here. It was the race in which Blackbow fell at the last, and Captain Guinness went on to beat him. He might have beaten him anyway, but Captain Guinness was first. Belfast Banter, who I think is a very good horse, was second. Sizen Potsy, who is now rated 100, absolutely bolted up last Saturday, was third. Texard, who's won well since, was fourth. And Favori Logique was ridden by Jody McGarvey. I think it was only his second hurdle start, and he ran a really, really nice race. He's rated 109. I think he's one of these horses that if you back him and he goes off maybe 10-1 on Sunday, and it's like he might need a bit more experience, just follow him, keep following him. But I'm going to take a chance on Sunday. I think he's very well handicapped.
We also have a little video as well from Gordon Elliott, who we caught up with, and he runs through a few of his main kind of Cheltenham chances, and also we'll hear ahead about just basically the enormous scope of his squad that he has bringing over to Cheltenham as well. We're here at Ferryhouse and joined by trainer Gordon Elliott. We've been looking forward to Cheltenham kind of all week. We're down in here as you had a chat now. How are things sort of since then? Everything okay?
That's right, everything's going well, you know, a few more bits of work to do, so hopefully they all get through it, but really looking forward to it.
You just had a few actually work here at Ferryhouse. Is that the kind of thing you do in between rather than run horses, just get them away for a day?
Yeah, 2 or 3 of these were Cheltenham horses, and, you know, a lot of young horses we got up there, but, you know, it's all systems going now.
And maybe just run through 1 or 2 of your horses. Obviously Tiger Roll will be many people's favourite. How is he coming? How's he come out of his run?
He's in good form. He came out and Navan very well. It's all systems going now, obviously, for the cross-country race, so really looking forward to it. He's run 4 times at Cheltenham now, so it'd be nice to get him back for 5.
And I suppose there are some pictures on social media there. He's been over for a little school, has he?
He went over for a day out and just jumped a few hedges, so this was really just a day out, get him in the lorry and get him to tuck up a bit, but we're very happy.
I suppose after the prep he's had, that's ideal. Is it just get out like that and do something a bit different with him?
Exactly, just to get him away.
Mvoyalan will be many people's kind of star horse. How has he been?
He's good. He'll do a bit of work maybe next Wednesday morning, all being well. He'll go for the Ballymore, so we're really looking forward to it. Isn't he 7 from 7, but he's there to be bet, so we'll do our best and see what we can do.
And you're happy with his form? Obviously he hasn't run since Nice. Are you okay with that preparation?
Yeah, definitely. That was the plan. I'm really looking forward to it.
Good stuff. Just mentioned as well Delta Work. I suppose he mentioned during the week he's a horse that probably, even though he's done very little wrong this year, he's probably a little unheralded in that Gold Cup.
That's right. I mean, he hasn't done too much wrong over the last 2 seasons. He's 5 Grade 1s won. I think he's a horse that'll suit the Gold Cup. A bit of an ease underfoot will suit him. So really looking forward to running him.
And I suppose it's just been confirmed as well that Mark Walsh will ride. That's a nice jockey book to have.
Yeah, that's it. Listen, Mark, he's a world-class jockey, so it's good to have him.
And I suppose Delta as well. I mean, are you happy with how he's been since Leopardstown? I mean, he's having slightly different prep in that he's having those 2 runs relatively quick. Is that okay?
Yeah, listen, I think it's ideal. He's had a good preparation and he's run well when he's racing, so we're looking forward to getting to Cheltenham now, all being well.
You've had some really nice novices, obviously mentioned Envoy. And what about the likes of Abacadabras? How's he?
He's in good form. He runs the Supreme now as the first day. Probably wouldn't like to see the ground bottomless for him, but I'd like to see a bit better ground, but he's in very good form and we're really looking forward to running him.
Good stuff. Just generally on Cheltenham, what kind of team? I mean, you mentioned during the week you entered something like 80 odd horses. What kind of team size?
I suppose if we get about 45 there, we'd be happy. That'd be sort of what we have in our head at the moment. Big team, exciting times. And
you'll nearly have a runner in almost every race. Probably the Champion Chase, one of the very few.
Yeah, we know running the Champion Chase, maybe not running the Fox Hunters. We'd a runner in a lot of the race, but we'd have a few breaks between that, so it'll be nice.
Just the 45 or so runners Paudie will have at Cheltenham alone.
I mean, Paudie won't even tell us how many horses he's training, and Gordon is telling us how many he's bringing to Cheltenham. I mean, that's why you don't have the horses.
I'm bringing none to Cheltenham. That's all I know.
Are you bringing yourself?
There's numbers for you. No, I won't go.
Not going?
No, watching TV.
Where's
busy.
Where's the Cheltenham Haunt for a few pints in the Curra region if you want to watch the racing?
Oh, we'd be going to James Nolan's or Cunningham's, 1 or 2, yeah.
The best crack, I still insist, the best crack in Cheltenham is watching in an Irish bar with your mates, bookies next door, and as long as you back the winner of the Supreme Novice Hurdle,
that's it.
Absolutely
fine. Way and a half.
It's unbelievable. 45, like how many trainers would never combined could think of having 45 horses.
It's just, I mean, it's a phenomenal number. Speaking of someone who won't have many runners, Paul Nolan, you were down there this morning. He obviously his latest exhibition. I
think Paul Nolan and James, like, if you wanted anyone to do well, they're just the most likeable lads. What you see is what you get. Paul is training the local hurling team. Given out today that, if Lee Chin had passed the ball instead of, trying to take on a man, they would have beaten Tip and they would have won the All Ireland. And saying that he's talking about his son's hurling ability. The head man in the yard is the guts of 80 years of age. He wants to go to Cheltenham, and the sister was there, and she took all the work riders and everyone away for a big fry up, while Paul brought us into his own kitchen, told us the wife was away, and there were a few custard creams if we were hungry, and the custard creams if they were soggy to throw them out. Right? So he's like, Jesus, so welcome, Paul. He's bringing 4 horses to Cheltenham. Latest exhibition, he trained the dam. They could have sold this exhibition, but instead it was sold within the yard as a syndicate. It's a fantastic story. He's a lovely, lovely horse. Looking at him today, fantastic looking horse for fences. And just to visit the yard where the look in James's eyes when he was saying, we got that horse last week, we bought him. He's 4, really like him. There was a male or mare, she's 5, well bred. They're really excited about her. This is a yard that had 5 winners in a season not that long ago from whatever used to be 40.
Yeah.
And that, like I was saying, it must be hard because when you get from the highs of that to expecting a winner in a couple of months' time if you're lucky. And he said, well, you keep going. And the vibe in the yard, there was a girl working there from Sweden, I think. She was there for the last few months, seemed to love us, just basically landed there randomly. But the rest of them are all Wexford people, and there's a 50 grand stable staff bonus if the horse. That's 50 grand among about 12 people. So that's a hell of a night out in Enniscorthy.
It'll make a big difference to the likes of, a smaller yard like that in particular.
As they were saying, I think Willie won it last year, but that's kind of like winning the local lotto 3 numbers or something. Like, there's so many people there. Like, so for a yard like that, I thought it was fantastic. The horse wore Wexford colours, Wexford owner, Wexford trainer, love Wexford hurling, Wexford people working there, and hopefully a winner as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Would he be? Do you have gone from what you've gleaned on the old Cheltenham preview circuit? Then do you have a winner? What you've taken?
Interesting few little tidbits now.
Yeah.
Another Wexford man. Johnny, I've forgotten his surname now. Gavin Cromwell's trainer, Johnny Moore.
Yeah.
He's telling me his horse in the Fox Hunters last night. He disappointed in third as the last day in a Hunter's Chase. David Christie had him, I think. Paul Nichols used to have him. Forget, he's a good horse now. Some man, I think.
Yeah.
Got his name anyway. I spent the whole morning looking. He's not even in the race. So Johnny, and he was telling me, oh, this horse worked on real well. He's so much class. I think the Fox Hunters mightn't actually suit him because he's that much class. I said, I go, that horse must be huge for 50 to 1. He's not in the race actually at all. So,
okay.
But Gavin Cromwell was sweet on his horse in the Fred Winter at a preview night last night. He's 40 to 1. A War Command horse, Theatre of War. Gavin Cromwell telling you to back horse 40 to 1.
That's fair enough. And he would have had a line because obviously Wolf Prince was a short price.
Second in the maiden hurdle to Lag and Gaelga. The Envoy LN, I haven't heard one person going against him in any preview night.
Yeah.
Now he's still odds against.
Willie Mullins was pretty sweet in his big getaway against him. He said he wouldn't be afraid of him.
I really like him, but I don't think he'll beat Envoy LN.
I think so.
There's a lot of love for Delta Work. I think he's really solid. What's the vibe at the Curragh though?
I was there like last night only going through, and so obviously I'd be biased. I'd be shouting for Delta Work and the thing, but the lads were for some reason given. I think Puppy was sweet on Super Sunday. Had a big price in the champion.
Not a big price anymore.
That was the kind of. I don't know, was he 10 or 12 to 1?
Yeah, only 10 to 1.
They said it was going to be soft.
Yeah.
So
Puppy Power is sweet on All Mankind, I think, in the Triumph. He said he rode in a race behind him. He said he couldn't believe the gallop he went. But yeah, good crack.
I think Willie's bumper horses.
Yeah,
appreciated.
Yeah.
I think he's the best I've seen in a while. He looks uncomplicated, doesn't he?
He does. I was at a preview the other night where Eddie O'Leary gave Sam Crow as his nap, but he gave it as his nap because his naps always lose and he fancies them and he doesn't fancy Sam Crow. So that was what I was kind of gleaning from it. But I haven't given up.
You have not given up.
How can you give up on a horse like Sam Crow?
You absolutely love him. What was your charity bet, by the way, for the weekend? Your charity bet?
For Cheltenham?
No.
Oh, for the weekend.
For the weekend.
So, yeah.
With thanks to Toes.
As I was saying, the horse that Ross O'Sullivan has, Favre Logique in Leopardstown in the 3:35 on Sunday. He's actually entered on Monday, so I'm hoping he'll be run under a penalty on Monday. Maybe a bit optimistic, but he's very well handicapped, I think.
Good stuff. Well, hopefully it'll add to our charity pot. Anyway, thanks a million for tuning in to Friday Night Racing with thanks to Horse Racing Ireland. Thanks to Johnny. Thanks to Paudie.
Yep.
And we'll catch you again next week.
Friday Night Racing.
On Off the Ball.
Brought to you by Horse Racing Ireland. Love every racing moment. Visit hri.ie.